Hello, thank you for tuning back into this session as we discuss one of my favorite topics, which is saving money. On the last session, as we talked about debt and debt elimination and how different types of debt looks, one of the things I mentioned in that session was just asking the right questions. And this is again, I'm going to open up on the savings side with asking yourself. Before on the debt side, there were questions you need to ask, whoever was lending you the money. You definitely need to ask two questions. What's your interest rate and what is the total cost? But when saving, you need to ask yourself this question, and you need to ask yourself basically, how much have you made versus how much have you saved? This is again another eye-opening, a reframing type of question or questions to ask yourself. Now, how do you go about this? I've explained this before, I believe. Hopefully I can link it. There's another session where I kind of talk in detail about this. But basically, you think about your annual income. And for instance, let's say if you make $100,000 a year, and you've been making this 100 grand for about 5 years. So you say 100,000 times 5, which means that's 500,000 that you have made, over the past 5 years. Now, on the other side of that paper, hopefully you're writing it down, and on the other side of that paper, now you need to write, how much do you have saved? And what I mean is, how much have you saved from that 500,000? And when you look at those two numbers, they should be in line. If they are not, then it's time to make a change to your savings plan. It's time to make a change in your life, because most times what I know is what people made versus what they saved. And I know we're talking a gross number, there's things that come out of it, but even if you netted that number of what you made versus what you saved, for most people, it would not, they would not be pleased. And how do I know that? Because statistics say that most people do not even have, over 60% of people do not even have an adequate savings or emergency account. So that's telling me that most people have not, asked themselves that question and evaluated what they made versus what they saved. What that question or those questions will do, it will challenge you to make better money decisions. It will challenge you to develop and adhere to a functioning budget that is actually in line with your financial goals and dreams. It will cause you just to make better decisions. So that being said, once you've gotten yourself in position, as we open up these sessions, just talking about why it's critical right now, why it's critical, yes, to save money, why it's critical to get out of debt. And when you look at it, I know there's some people saying, that's out there like, well, my budget is telling me, maybe your budget is telling you there's not enough money. You are doing everything. Now, I know people we are not. None of us, including myself, are perfect, are doing everything right by our budget. But if you're saying that, then maybe your budget is telling you to make more money. I often say there's plenty of ways legally to make more money. But whatever your budget is telling you at this point, you must do. And when you are saving money, I just believe, just to simplify it, there's probably 3 type of accounts. You have to give it to your financial advisor and figure out how these 3 accounts look for you. But there's 3 categories, I shall say, not accounts. There's 3 categories of saving. Number 1, pay yourself first, emergency fund. Emergency fund. Emergencies are common to all of us. So you have to have an adequate amount saved. You may ask, this is just my truth. I just believe in a not so good economy like we're in right now, it's always best to have 6+ months worth of emergency fund savings. Why? Because if you lose your job, that's probably what it's going to take, the time it's going to take to get yourself back in position to find that source of income that you used to have. So you want to have, yes, you may have to start small, 1 month, 2 months. That's what I love about our sessions. You start where you are. But the end goal probably should be around maybe 6 to 12 months, just so you have enough saved. Again, this is something you and your financial advisor can sit and really figure out. Number 2, you want to have a short-term savings account. Why? Because you're gonna want a car. Sometimes you're forced to get a new car. And I don't believe in financing and being enslaved to interest. So it's so much better to be able to take that check or take whatever and to pay cash for that car. Because why? And I understand there are situations people have to get in. You have to do what you have to do. But I said in the prior session, you want to pay it off as quick as possible. But my sessions are about not just getting out of debt, but staying out of debt. Don't miss that. It's not about getting out of debt to get in debt again. See, that's the theme of America right now. The theme of these sessions is to stay out. How do you stay out? With your short-term goals, paying for them. That could be your next vacation, paying cash. That could be your next vehicle, paying cash. That could be whatever short-term you need to get done over the next 5 or so years, 3 to 5 years probably. You want to be saving for that. And then the last category is long-term, because what I know is that most of us are trading what? Time. Our valuable, one of our greatest gifts from God is time, and are trading time for money. So when you are on that job, what I know is the playing field is not leveled. Yes, they're giving you a paycheck, but guess what? On the other end, you are losing time that you can never get back. This is why it should be a sense of urgency to do, as we've been talking about, to get out of debt. It should be a sense of urgency to save money like no other. Why? Because you are trading your time for money. And as you do that long-term category, that category is for when you just decide no more. You say, I'm out of debt, I have money saved, and guess what? I'm gonna go enjoy and do whatever I want to do with the rest of my time on earth. Maybe you're just gonna wake up and say, hey God, whatever you want me to do, then I will do. So you have to plan. This is probably more like a retirement plan, whether you're part of that movement where you're going to retire early or not, but you still have to have an end game account. This is the end. It probably seems to be an end game account, but it's really the beginning. It's the beginning of something special. It's the beginning of living life on your terms. Not on the terms of a job or a business, on your terms and at your level and the level that God has elevated you to. So these 3 accounts are so important. Number 1, emergency fund. Number 2, short-term account. Number 3, a long-term type of account. And if you have those 3 accounts, I'm here to tell you, someone can challenge this, but I'm here to tell you, you are bulletproof. You are bulletproof. Nothing can touch you financially. And if it does, guess what? You've done everything that you could in your power, and you have to give it to who? Your higher power, because you've honored the dollars that you were blessed with by following through that system. So I challenge you as we wrap up this session. This is the last session. It was a quick session. I enjoyed it. It doesn't take long. I just feel like it really doesn't take long to free yourself. But as we wrap up this session, just remember what I said. It's so important to get out of the debt trap. It's so important to ask the right questions. And it's equally important to save money. It will save you. And in the process, guess what? Enjoy life. You may ask, as I was on the journey to debt freedom, did I enjoy it? You bet I did. Why? 1, because I knew where God was taking me. But 2, I knew every day I am promised joy. So it didn't matter the situation. I was not going to let that situation or anything or anyone steal my joy. And you cannot let anything steal your joy as you go through this process. I promise you, do not look to the left or to the right. Do not look at social media. Do not look at what people are doing. Look at your financial vision. Look at your budget. Look at your plan. Stay connected to sessions and people like this that are where you want to be, are on the road to where you want to be. Keep your keep your circle with like-minded people. So I challenge you, as I'm always challenging you, put the plan together, make it happen. I know you can do it. Thank you for tuning in. Hasta luego.